Coincidentally got on my shirt that says faith over fear. Now, before we get into this, right, I got just a couple of questions. Have you ever felt like your financial situation is like a storm that maybe you just can't control or you can't understand? Or like, do you just sometimes wonder if you'll ever really get ahead? Or like, no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't really always line up for you? Now, if so, right, you're not alone. There's millions of people in a similar boat. Shoot, I was in that same boat myself not too long ago before finding out about what financial literacy and what the Bible can really do for us. Now, for those who don't know who I am, my name is Pinder. And today we're going to really be talking about how we can tie the story of Jesus calming the storm back in Mark 4 to the financial storms that we all face in our day-to-day lives. Now, what we're going to be talking about again is learning how to really trust in God, trusting in the Bible, having faith over fear, because that fear is what's going to freeze our process, but the faith is what will fuel you to keep on going. Now again, right, we're going to quote back to Mark. So like in Mark 4:35 to 441, right, we already kind of know the story, but the disciples, they're in this boat, they're in the boat with Jesus, they're on the way crossing the sea, but in the sea there's this huge storm, and the disciples are panicking, so much so that they go wake up Jesus, because they're like, yo man, I think this boat's about to crash, we about to all die. And that's when Jesus gets upset, because again, he already told them that they were going to cross that sea. So for them to be tripping or panicking about this storm that they're now in is kind of like a like a disagreement to the faith of him promising them that they're already going to make it. But again, right, we got in verse 38, Jesus was in stern, sleeping in the cushion. Jesus was asleep the whole time. He wasn't tripping. Why were the disciples tripping? It's very the same thing with your finances. You don't need to be panicking if you have faith. Now, many of us are just like those disciples, right? We panic when the money's not right. We panic if our job pays us a day late. We panic if the money for the bill comes a couple days too early, or if we didn't plan it out properly. We stress over bills. We stress over debts. We stress over unexpected expenses. So much so, and it's tragic, because what's going on right now in the economy, I think about 60-70% of people, if an unexpected expense of $500 to $1,000 came up, they wouldn't have the money anyway. But people are stressing over things like these, forgetting that Jesus is in the boat with us. And sometimes you just need, not sometimes, all the time, you just need to have the faith to be able to see your way to the other side. Now, fear over our finances is a very dangerous combo, because it leads to poor decisions. It leads to doing things like taking out payday loans. It leads to you overdrafting your account. It leads to you buying things you don't need to cope with the stress. I heard in a sermon earlier this morning, Transformation Church, Michael Todd, he was talking about how people will feel bad about not having a situation, or feel bad about a certain situation financially, and then they'll go buy an object to cope with the stress, which is just going to make the financial problem even worse, even though you may have satisfied a need or a want right then and there. But fear says you'll never get out of this. Faith says God already made the plan and it's already done. And when we walk by faith and not by sight, is when things start to really fall into order. Because remember, faith starts with the size of a mustard seed, right? I forget the exact verse, but all it takes is the faith of a mustard seed to move a mountain. But if you're missing that faith, you're not moving that mountain. If you're staring at the mountain, you're not finding the faith, that mustard seed of faith. Now, again, faith is about planning ahead. Think about the book of Proverbs. You want to create that budget, and you want to know what's coming and know what's going. You don't need faith to make a budget. You just need to be consistent. Faith is saving consistently. Again, right? Proverbs 13:11. You just need to, maybe you can only save $1 a week, $10 a week, $5 a week, $20 a week, but it's something, it builds a foundation to where one day you're not praying to have the money that you need. You already been saving it, and that consistency is coming to pay off. And you don't have to use your faith on something as simple as making a bill. Now, faith means, again, believing in small seeds to grow into something real. Think about this, right? The Wi-Fi, that faith. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't understand how Wi-Fi works. I know how to use it, but I don't understand it. That's faith. These lights in our houses. Again, I know how to flip a switch, but I don't understand how the circuits move around through our house and why we have electricity. I know how to turn my car on, but if you ask me to tell you and break down how an engine works, I would be lost. I just have faith that these things will work the way they're supposed to work when I need to use them. And it's the same way with everything else. You need to have faith that God will work in your life for what it is when you need it, because He already is. You just need to see it. But again, right? Faith waits. Don't rush into money schemes too quickly. Don't stress yourself on trying to make God's timing yours, because when it's God's timing, it'll happen when it needs to happen. Now, one last little call to action, guys, before we really get up out of here, right? Because again, we want to beat this a short but sweet, but really getting to the point. Don't waste your faith on things that can be done on your own. Now, what do I mean by that, guys? Don't waste your faith on things that discipline can fix. Okay, guys? If you're late on your payments every single time, but you have money to go shopping, maybe stop shopping for a little while. Discipline yourself to say no. Discipline yourself to wait until all of your bills are paid. But discipline yourself to wait until after you tithe it, after you saved, and then you can maybe spend what's left. But don't waste your faith on something discipline can beat. The second thing, guys, don't waste your faith on something communication can correct. If you don't understand your finances, if you don't know what credit is, if you don't know debts, if you don't know money, if you don't know finances or home ownership or business building or EIN, you don't know the process of what you need. Find someone that does. Communicate. Talk to someone that can help you. But don't waste your faith on something that you can go communicate to correct. Third thing, guys, don't waste your faith on things a budget can build. Don't be praying to go on vacation this summer. Set up a budget. That way you have the money to go on vacation. Don't pray that you're going to have enough money to get your kids Christmas gifts. Start saving right now. That way, when Christmas time rolls around, you already have the money. Guys, don't waste your faith on things integrity can avoid. Listen, if you don't have the money and you're in Target or you're in the store and you don't have the money, don't do what people do and scan a couple of things and then put a couple more things in your bags. Listen, that's not good. And that's going to hurt you in the long run, even if you got the thing you wanted right then and there. Let's hope you don't get caught by the police on your way out the door. Again, guys, one more thing. These are 5 things. Don't waste your faith on things a schedule can solve. I heard this dude Jim Rohn say this thing a very long time ago. We all get the same 24 hours and 7 days a week as anyone else. If you try to look for more time, they're going to take you away because they might think you're crazy. We all have the same 24 hours a day. We all have the same 7 days a week. There's no one that has a 25th hour, and there's no one that has an 8th day. So if you're looking for that kind of time, they might have to put you away for that. And just something you guys want to remember. Sometimes you don't need a miracle to solve your problem. Sometimes you just need better management. Now, again, before I close out, I just want the guys to lock in on those 5 things one more time. These are just 5 things you don't really need your faith to fix for you. You might just need discipline. You might just need to communicate. You might just need to budget. You might just need to be more honest and have more integrity. Also, you might just need a schedule. Start with those 5 things first. Then, see how much faith you need to keep going. Because faith can be used to do so many things. Think about the cars that we drive in right now, right? If you know the story of Henry Ford, cars weren't always like how they are right now. It took faith. It took ingenuity. It took integrity. It took communication. It took discipline to turn the simple two-engine Ford cars that were the 1940s to the V6, V8, V16 engines that we have today. Think back to computers. We don't think about these iPhones and these Androids and all these phones that are like computers in our pockets. These were invisible once upon a time. They didn't exist once upon a time. But people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates used their faith, used their imagination, used their integrity, communication, budget, integrity, and schedules to be able to make something that wasn't a thing. And we all tend to forget because it's been so long, because we're so used to having these things. But all of these things that we enjoy today started from someone's faith. And what you need to be asking yourselves, guys, I asked myself this today is, what are we using our faith for? Are we using our faith for ingenuity? Are we using our faith to change lives? Are we using our faith to bless our communities? Or are we just using our faith to get through to the next day? Are we just using our faith to make sure we got that rent money? Are we just using our faith to make sure we have enough gas to put in the car? Now, I just want you guys to think about that. And in the meantime, between time, you all stay blessed by the best. Once again, guys, my name is Alan Pinder, U.S. Navy veteran. I'm here to help the masses. But in the meantime, between time, y'all all stay blessed by the best. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Goodbye.